So two things have happened since my last video on Operation Athena. One, the developers have responded saying they are still working on the project, but because of the beef and the messy stuff that was going on with the two developers, one of them stepped away from the project, the other one took total control and is still working on the game. And two, just like every single time I make a video on this kind of stuff, the community is pissed off at me. So I released a video saying, hey, these developers are beefing. One of them is saying the project is concluded. We haven't seen an update in months. The game is pretty much abandoned. To which I was met with a flurry of criticism from that community saying I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't do my research. I didn't look into it. I didn't interview the fucking developers. I didn't do this. I'm not an investigative journalist, blah, 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 fucking blah. And obviously it's stirring up a little bit of a discussion. I just saw the Big Fry video. Has this game been abandoned? To which people are responding, no, it actually wasn't. Actually, today, devs confirmed on Discord that they continue development. To which an actual developer chimed in by the name of The Sangra. The game is in development and new content is being worked on as we speak. Now, this is where it gets a little funny because literally a month ago, April 30th, we have the tried and true Blaster Master asking a question about the development delay. Based on a lot of deleted developer comments, it's clear Vintage Green went off the deep end. Now, granted, if you guys haven't seen the last video, you might not know the context. Go watch that one, then jump back here. But what's crazy is the Blaster Master is one of the people criticizing me for not doing enough research, not looking into it. He even says here, longtime dev team member The Sangra and map maker Cypher announced they are leaving, which is something that I actually didn't cover in my last video. So from May 1st, literally a month ago yesterday, to now, we have The Sangra, who is still on the development team. I spoke to them in Discord yesterday when we were just kind of chit-chatting about what is actually going on with this project. We went from they're leaving the project a month ago, Mapmaker Cypher announces they're leaving, one of the main co-founders and owners is leaving, and tells people on the way out that the game is not only dead, but that they're concluding development, and I'm supposed to do the research. I'm supposed to reach out and weed through the weeds of the mess and ask around and do investigative work. Guys, I'm going off your own fucking words on screen. The aforementioned Cypher, the map maker for the game, is in this thread saying that Sangra is developing his own RPG game now, basically confirming that the developer has left the project, but they haven't left the project. And so as confirmed here, the Sangra is still on the moderation team, whatever their title is. We also have Legacy, which I didn't realize Legacy tacticalgaming.net is all over the Steam community hub telling people like, hey guys, the game is moving forward. I actually didn't realize he's a moderator, like part of the dev team, which is a little strange. The entire structure of this game needs to change. So this video is to tell you guys a few different things, update you on the current status of Operation Athena. First and foremost, they dropped the price to $9.99 on Steam right after I dropped my video. Effective immediately, Operation Athena's price has finally been lowered to a more reasonable figure. For anyone who bought the title at a previous price point, we will be changing that edition to the supporter edition with the incentive of benefits in the near future once the issues are squared away. What those benefits are, no fucking idea. Number two, this video is being made to let you know Operation Athena is still in development. I'm not gonna lie, the game is still incredibly early. I personally don't think that it should even be out to the public right now to gather feedback. However, if we really want to deep dive what this game needs to get back on track, welcome to number 3. Now, the main menu doesn't look too bad. If I was you guys, I'd go for a simpler still shot that I think actually just looks a little better and you're not dealing with these kind of weird, you know, mo-capped animation stuff. It looks a little early access. I think what you guys should do is take the lights down in this room right here. I think this place is way too bright. Obviously, it's daytime, so you're getting, you know, the skylight is very bright. But if you take it down, make this a dark scene, and you get a shot something like this, where maybe you have a couple of guns on the table, some ammo boxes littered around, and it's more of a still shot with a lot of great environmental prop work, and then you just have your main menu on the side popping up like this. That would go a lot harder than what you guys have now. It's a lot easier, and then I think it's also a basis for what I want to talk about next. So if I can give you guys a little bit of credit, when you guys do dark scenes like this, the nighttime scenes, they look a lot better than what we're about to look at. You guys got the skyline in the back, the buildings, like the actual outside is populated in a way that I think looks decent and passable for an indie game at this level. The one thing I don't understand about the hospital map specifically is it's set in Vancouver, Canada, but there's nothing, like, that's just something you say. There's nothing here that represents Canada. There's nothing here that represents really anything to do with like Canadian like landscapes, environmental design, or anything. Hell, I know you guys have snow and weather effects in another map. Why isn't this one set in you know, in the middle of winter? I also think there's got to be a radical change in the way that you guys go about the visual development of these maps. So if you bring snow in and it starts to snow on the ground and it looks good, and all of a sudden this hospital is being taken over by terrorists, lower the light levels. It is so grossly bright in this level that the light is actually doing you guys a disservice when it comes to some of the material work that you're doing on some of the, like, this is a metal gurney, but it has a roughness value. It looks like it's made out of marble. But if you were to take the light level down, most players probably wouldn't even realize it. I also think what would go hard is as you're approaching this level, you have the light level taken down in there. Like you can see that there's an attenuation and it's kind of, imagine if the light was flickering and it's a little darker in there and we get a little bit of red, like emergency light going on in here. I really wish I could take a look at the level file and just go through your lighting and fucking change it because it's just so grossly bright in here. There is lights everywhere. I can't imagine the performance boost you would get from knocking out literally 1, 2, 3, 4. All you'd have to do in this room is add 1, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 smaller red emergency lights that don't shine as bright, don't have as much attenuation, and it would look better. It would set a much better vibe for the fact that terrorists are taking over this building, and you could potentially grab a little bit of performance out of it as well. Because again, with a level this bright, you can see the texture work and the materials, like it's not bad, but you could hide a lot of the problem areas by just taking the light level down. And I actually think you could do more things like this. Like I love the wires coming through the wall, the roof panels there. I think if you were to put like, I can't see what's up there, but if you were to put like a red light shining behind that and just set the vibe. Operation Athena is based on what I'm seeing here. You guys have the blood spatter. You want to tell a darker story, even with the environmental design, right? You want to take these lights down and just make this a much darker vibe, especially we have a flashlight. It does nothing in a level like this. Maybe outside, but the way you guys have designed the level, nothing's going on out there. For me personally, I'd also like to see if you're setting a level in Vancouver, Canada, maybe put some environmental storytelling in the things like the posters that represent things about Canada. I don't know why you guys chose it, but as a Canadian, there is a million different things that I would do here, especially like, again, I don't know where you guys got these designs. Wait, I'm hearing somebody. But because it's set in Canada, I would look up like French terms. And if you're making these posters, add a French variant as well. Just to add that extra care and attention to detail. Oh my God, what the fuck? Also, take the text out of here. Hospital. Like, okay. I don't mind the patient entrance. I think that should be a little smaller. But just the big hospital is fucking weird. What's the name of the hospital? Make a sign that's out front that, hey, this is, you know, main entrance of fucking, I know a lot of hospitals in Canada like to do like, there's like Christian hospitals. So it's like St. Paul's, you know, shit like that. Like I'm seeing, Jesus Christ. I'm seeing so many things that you could do just from a lighting perspective. Like these lights are just so incredibly bright. And I think you could do a pass on almost every one of your maps. Your nighttime outside shots, especially on maps like High Rise, are so much better. Now, my favorite map in the game is High Rise. And this kind of goes into what I'm saying right here. Look at this vibe. This vibe right here goes hard. You got the red light, emergency light. Imagine taking like just this visual and applying it to the interiors of most of your maps. But dude, we got rain vibes here. Sky Rise, dark maps. Let's go inside. And then it just turns to shit. A lot of weird geometry and a lot of weird building here. So we have this random wall on the stairwell that Like, it looks like it was just slapped there. It doesn't actually fit. Very fucking weird. One thing I can say is I actually like this texture. Looks good. A little bit of reflective here. That's nice. But the weird geometry and just the weird map building definitely looks like somebody's never actually been in a high rise before. This wall always pissed me off when I played this level. Going in here. Oh, look at this. We got a little bit of a darker aesthetic here, and it looks pretty good. I also think something that could be really cool for this game is you guys have these littered, I think, in a couple of different maps in a couple of different areas. If you were to put weapons here that you could actually pick up, change out your weapons. I don't know if that's a functionality you actually have in the game, but that could go hard because, like I said, I know you guys reuse this asset in a couple different areas. That would be cool. You guys see the reaction time of that AI? It's fucking ridiculous. The instant snapping is a tried and true early access indie FPS thing that a lot of developers just completely get wrong. And what's fucking crazy is the last update to the game, which was in March, was an AI update that adjusted things like more realistic reaction times, smoother AI rotations, and overall AI feel. What the fuck did you do? I get it, you want this to be a hardcore game. There's a lot of other ways you could do that. Having the AI inhumanly snap to you makes it automatically feel like you're playing a video game that isn't very good. But if there's one thing I've learned working on our own game, it's that there is a lot of different ways you can approach AI, and the worst way to do it is the way you guys are doing it, the instant snapping, so that you have to have really good reaction time, which is the effect that you want to go for, but there should be a lot of other ways to get really good functioning AI that actually feel like they have a brain. I know one thing that we focused on a lot was them going and finding cover locations and then leaning out of cover to protect themselves. Like, watch this. I'm going to walk up. Even reducing the speed by 50%, the dude's a super soldier. Again, it is early access, and I think now that the game has dropped its price to $9.99, I think a lot of these issues are a lot more reasonable and a lot more manageable, which is why in a lot of my videos, I harp on developers who price their games out of their own quality level. I want to jump to another map and discuss it. This is going to be my next piece of feedback. Why can't I just go back to the hub? So I created a server, but I can't actually leave this mission. I have to, if I want to change levels, I have to go back to the main menu, start up another server, 1, 2, 3, 4, make a private server, and then go back into the hub, pick my guy again. Just figure out a way to bring me back here when I'm in missions so that I don't have to create a server every single time I want to change maps. See, so you have the ability to return to HQ when you die, but you don't have the ability to return to HQ while you're still alive. Just take that functionality. You clearly have it and add that to your escape menu while you're actually in a mission and still alive. One thing I'd love to see with maps like this is more ways to actually enter the areas. So we're basically forced to go through doors, and there's my kitty. We're forced to go through doors right now, but imagine if I could walk up here and open one of these windows. Especially because we can shoot it, right? Having the ability to, oh God, I pissed off the neighborhood. Having the ability to vault in through windows, especially because it looks like they're a lot bigger than the capsule size already is. So I think you could pull that off very easily. You would just need the proper animation work. And I know that there's a lot of mo-capped animations for stuff like that anyway, especially in first person. And all it would have to be would be transferring your character, you know, over the hump and onto the other side. Also, for a game that I think wants to be a little bit more hardcore, especially with the time to kill, the instant snapping AI, the fact that we have hit markers is fucking weird. Like, I like that you can crack all these windows. That's cool. But if there was an actual gameplay element that could come alongside with it, I think that would be really dope. Especially like you fucking bait me with these boxes sitting here. I know I can't jump, but it looks like this would be a dope place to enter from. Just a little bit of a stealth element to it as well. Not even necessarily stealth, but just map traversal would add so much to this. Again, it's so fucking bright in here. Also, this map is getting some serious performance issues. I'm going from 70 FPS. It's dropping down to 37, up to 40, up to 70, down to 50, down to 30. There's definitely something going on. I don't know if it's collider based. There's just a lot of AI that are, because it seems like it's, I don't know. Also, where the fuck is this AI shooting at? Yeah, this map is performing like dog for me. Jesus, yeah, and it's getting worse too. I'm dropping 28 FPS. I wonder if it's because I shot out all those windows. Would that be a thing that could affect performance? Or I wonder if it's because I triggered so many AI, again, without being able to actually see the code.
I see.
Bro, this is getting unfucking playable. Holy shit. I'm gonna die. Wow. Holy fuck, that runs like garbage. I'm still gonna keep it at 30 enemy spawn count, but I think you might want to lower that for some of those bigger, more intricate maps. Also, before I go, get this working as soon as humanly fucking possible. Again, dark map, nice vibe, feels good. I was gonna say, I don't think I can go through either one of these doors. Okay, I gotta go around the side to the garages. Also, one thing I do want to talk about, your night vision isn't actually the worst thing in the world. A lot of games do night vision worse than this. Gray Zone Warfare, I'm looking at you. Your AI is the weakest part of this game by far. But again, as somebody who is working on their own project, I also know AI is the hardest thing to program, especially if you guys are, you know, 1, 2, maybe 3 people working on the game in total. It's a tough thing to do, and it's a tough thing to nail. Again, empty room, empty room. We got to start filling these things with props, assets, stuff that you can throw around. We got to start looking. One thing that I've learned just with level design, now granted, this looks more like a warehouse in the back. One thing I've learned with level design is it's not necessarily what you can throw along the floor, but look in the walls as well. If you take this room right here and it's completely empty, but you throw light switch, plugins, fire extinguisher, maybe a painting or two, throw a couple of like wall sconces on, the room starts to look a lot more full with stuff you throw on the wall, but the actual play space that you're in is essentially empty. A lot of boxes. I would love to see more props, you know, than just boxes. So I like that you have these pictures. It's an art gallery. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see more of. Would love to see a couple of statues, maybe one shoved into the corner. Like, what, you know, what's in this art gallery? Holy fuck! What kind of prop work do we have? This was one thing that I fucking hated about playing this map when I first played the game. This is such a choke point, and because you always lock those front doors, and this is the only way in, it's fucking ridiculous. What happens is you just get locked in there and you just, like, you have to basically wait for all of the AI to flood in, and it just doesn't make for a good experience. You have to, hold on, let me look at this geo. See what I would do. I would add an entrance right here. Because I'm guessing that's going to kick right out into that hallway where those where those vending machines are, right? I think it does. Fuck you, buddy. Yeah, it's going to kick out right here. Add another door right there that you can actually get in that would give you a sight line across here. So you're not working through one fucking room and one door. Really liking this vibe. I have no idea where I'm getting shot from. I like this vibe. I think if you actually added some floral in here, like the piano, that's cute. This room's not bad. Add some floral in here. I would also add a little bit of like a hanging light here that doesn't, again, maybe something like one of these. Put that there. Add something on the wall here. Dress up this hallway a little bit so that when you're leaning down, the only sight line that you have, it actually looks visually a little better than just empty walls. Walls, man. Like, this room is fairly empty because you can't jump. So this is, I mean, this rope is essentially a wall, right? But yeah, literally, because that door is always locked, there's nothing in that room. It's simply a room with one way in and one way out, which isn't great design. Oh my God. What timing that was. This, in my opinion, is the worst looking map by far, and I simply think it's because the outside shots are very bright. Obviously, you have the sandstorm, which kind of muddies the visuals, and if I can be honest, I think it just looks like shit. But then when we get into the interior and you have these kind of standing lights here that kind of cascade out, give some shadows, I actually like the look of this area right here. Tires, love the flag. The actual texture work, I think, shines in a darker but still dimly lit environment. I think you got to think about what you're actually doing in this environment. Terrorist Hunt is cool, but the actual vibe is so outdated. I think that's going to be a struggle for a lot of players is, why am I buying this game to play Terrorist Hunt when you can play Terrorist Hunt in a million different games? Okay, I'm hitting H. It's putting my gun down for a second. Do I have to hold it? No. What the fuck? Wait, what did I do? Okay, I hit 4 and broke the game. That swaps my grenades in hand. But now... Oh, what the fuck? Okay, well, that's completely fucked. Also, it's crazy. You guys have a little bit of, like, animation here with the sprint. I would love it if you gave me the option to go canted. Like, let me scroll up and down, go canted. You clearly have the ability to manipulate the weapon in hand. Also, do yourself a favor and fade the game out at this point. Do yourself a favor and fade the game out at this point. You can keep the player here, fade the game out, drop the audio so that you don't get that janky feel when players die. It just doesn't look good, doesn't feel good. It's not polished. There's a lot of little things you could do right now that could definitely clean up the actual experience of the game. And I also think in terms of the things like environmental lighting and design, I think instead of focusing on adding new content right now, the best thing you guys could do, I don't want to insult you, but because the community is so small right now, there isn't a lot of people waiting in the wings for new content to bring them back to the experience, nothing like that. You are now in the process of, you have to build the game out. And right now, because of how messy this development has been, you have to spend a lot of time working on getting your pipelines down, work on getting your design language down, and setting up these maps in a way that you can then replicate when you make future content. So you don't have such a quality gap between a map like High Rise and a map like Gallery versus a map like Syria. I think Syria, for the most part, is the worst map in the game, and it shouldn't be like that. So if I were to offer any advice outside of everything that I've given already, it's start focusing on the game that you have right now and getting that as right and proper as you can, so that you can take what you've learned, what you know, and what you have as the basic foundational blueprint and move forward and design the rest of the game extra content when you're actually fleshing it out in the future. All right, let's talk about the store page. As a YouTuber, keeping people engaged in the first 15 seconds is the most important thing. When I click on this page, and the first thing that I'm greeted with is this. Please note, this game is currently a work in progress and is subject to change. Features, visuals, gameplay, most footage recorded from a real co-op match created by a team of 2 Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Is this game worth it? What the fuck is Operation Athena? You need to get straight into the gameplay. You guys need a trailer. This visual looks good. Don't start the video. Start the video there. This is the trailer, and make yourself a trailer. Let's see the mini teaser. Get rid of this bullshit. Here we go. Start there. Get rid of the text. Cut straight to gameplay. Let's get some yes. Don't focus your entire video on one mission. This is a mini teaser, but then it's all High Rise. You guys have a bomb. You guys have a bomb screen here. Look at this. That was a quality shot. That was a quality shot. Utilize that, but you guys need to make a trailer that showcases absolutely everything that you guys have. Every mission, including the kill house, including the hostage rescue, the bomb. Y'all need a new trailer. Like I pointed out in my last video, this idea of updated modern mechanics is horseshit. The game feels like an old school shooter. Lean into it. I don't know what your updated modern mechanics are. Take part as an operator of Athena team, solo, or with up to 4 players against a global terrorist threat. Great. You guys need to update your current target for full release. It's not coming out in Q4 2025. As of right now, everybody who is on that team knows that. You guys know that this game is not launching in Q4 2025. A lot of development teams have become hip to the game. Do not put a window. Don't put a date. Don't put a window. Don't even give people a fucking year. We are a small team currently working on this game, and we don't know when it's going to come out, but we want to build this game with the community so it'll be ready when it's ready. Because to me, you guys all know that it's not coming out Q4 2025. That's a lie. And now, if I can be completely honest with you too, I think because of how small your team is, you have to work with what you have. The idea that you have 4 playable classes with unique loadouts and mechanics are kind of cool, but realistically, what you have as somebody who is jumping in and playing this game solo, you are locking content off to that player. I think your class-based system misses the mark, considering most of the classes feel incredibly similar. I think what you need to do when you bring in the weapon customization system, you already have the loadout system. Let players play with whatever gun they want to play with, and let them choose whatever gadget or whatever ability that they can choose. So if I want to play as a healing class, I can take the gadget and do that myself instead of locking me into that slot. And again, as a solo player, you have to pick the gunner or the team lead, because playing as the medic makes no fucking sense. I understand you want to build this for co-op. Giving players the ability to build out their own classes is a feature in and of itself, and you get away with giving the player access. If they're a solo player purchasing this game for the first time, you give them access to every single weapon in the game, so it feels like there's a lot more content. And so with that, guys, Operation Athena is apparently still in development. The developers got into a little heated tussle online. Some developers left, some developers didn't. It's been a fucking mess, and the developers' messaging is ass because they are, a small team of guys who probably aren't PR trained, who probably don't really understand how to get ahead of this discussion. The main developer, who is still there, Norwood, seems like a decent dude. He got involved with somebody who is clearly fucking unhinged. The messy shit that they both did in public is not on one person, it's also on him. But at the end of the day, Operation Athena is apparently still in development. The developers are anxious to take players' feedback and build this game into something. I'll be honest, I don't know what it's going to turn into. They have a long way to go to even be comparable to other games that are currently on the market and have been for a long time. And if I can be honest, even with the price drop, I think that it's a lot more in line with the content that you actually have there. But in terms of buying into an early access product that is going to, be built long term and the community is going to develop it together, I don't know what the future of this game holds. This situation leaves a lot of doubt and uncertainty about the future of the project, about the team itself, and if they're willing to get into crazy beef drama in their own Discord, bring their own communities into it, it's going to be a tough one to get over. But if they can get their heads down and actually start developing the game further, maybe take some of my feedback here today into account and see where it goes, the fact that they've already lowered the price is a good sign. But what's not a good sign is the fact that the last update was March 26th of this year. It's currently June 2nd. What the actual fuck is going on? This will be the last time you guys see me talk about Operation Athena for, at the very least, 2 to 3 years. Because I think that's what it's going to take to get this game to a state that is actually going to move the needle for me. But I figured I'd give you guys an update now that we have more information, now that the developers are trying to get ahead of it, making changes. That's where we're at. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed it. Leave a dislike if you didn't. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.